Welcome to the Deep Dive, where we kind of unpack these complex topics and serve up those aha moments.
Yeah.
And today we're diving into something ancient and intensely personal, reincarnation.
It is remarkable how the idea of rebirth,
of
souls journeying from one life to the next, has resonated across cultures and throughout history.
It really has. And we've got this thought-provoking research paper called The Mystery of Reincarnation to kind of guide us.
Okay.
It explores not just the belief in reincarnation, but also the philosophical and even scientific angles.
Interesting.
Before we jump in, though, I did want to mention that we're an emerging channel here at Mind Mosaic.
Yes.
And your support means the world to us.
Appreciate it.
If you enjoyed these deep dives, please consider subscribing and hitting that like button.
Yes, please.
It really helps us grow and keeps these explorations coming.
And we're incredibly grateful for the support of our listeners. You're the reason we do this.
Exactly.
Yeah.
All right, back to reincarnation.
Okay.
Have you ever had that feeling, like a sense of deja vu, that maybe you've lived before?
Oh, yeah.
It's a question that's haunted humanity for ages.
It really has. It taps into a deep human longing to understand what lies beyond this life, whether a part of us continues on.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So we're going to explore how different religions view reincarnation.
Okay.
And trust me,
it's
not as simple as you might think.
Okay.
Even within a single religion,
right,
there can be a surprising range of interpretations.
Sure.
Yeah.
We'll see how the concept of reincarnation is woven into the fabric of various belief systems, each with its own unique perspective on the journey of the soul.
That's really interesting. So to kick things off, let's get a clear definition on the table.
All right.
What exactly is reincarnation?
At its core, reincarnation is the idea that when we die, our soul or spirit doesn't simply vanish.
Right.
It's reborn into a new physical body, starting a fresh chapter in a continuous cycle of existence.
So it's not necessarily about you as an individual coming back exactly as you are, but more like the essence of who you are, the core of your being continuing in a new form.
Precisely. You'll also encounter other terms. Like rebirth, metempsychosis, or transmigration, but they all point to the central idea of souls cycling through lifetimes.
Gotcha. And this idea is especially prominent in Eastern religions, right?
Yes. Hinduism, Jainism, Buddhism.
Yeah.
They all embrace reincarnation,
Okay.
though each offers a distinct take on how it works.
That's really fascinating.
Yeah.
Let's start with Hinduism,
All right.
where the concept of samsara plays a crucial role.
Yes.
Now, samsara can sound a bit complex.
Okay.
It's essentially this cosmic wheel of life, death, and rebirth,
Right? That's a great way to put it.
Okay.
Imagine a wheel constantly turning, and each turn represents a lifetime. And what drives this wheel is your karma, your actions. Think of karma as a spiritual cause and effect system.
Right.
Every action you take creates a ripple effect.
Wow.
Shaping your future lives on this wheel of samsara.
So it's not just about being a good or bad person.
Right.
It's about understanding that your actions, big or small, have consequences that echo through your future lifetimes.
Exactly. It highlights the interconnectedness of our actions and their impact on our journey through samsara.
I see.
There's even a passage in the Rig Veda, an ancient Hindu text, that talks about how bodies shouldn't be completely burned during cremation.
Oh, wow.
So that the soul can make its journey to the afterlife.
Wow, that's fascinating. What I find really interesting is that even within Hinduism, there are different schools of thought on what the ultimate goal is.
You're right. It's not a monolithic belief system. You have schools like Advaita Vedanta, which emphasize the pursuit of moksha. This is about achieving liberation from samsara, breaking free from the cycle of rebirth entirely by uniting with Brahman, the ultimate reality.
So in that view, the goal is to transcend the cycle of birth and death, to achieve a state of unity with the divine.
Yes. But then you have other schools of thought, like Dvaita, which believe in eternal life in a spiritual world. In this view, you don't necessarily merge with Brahman, but exist alongside it. Experiencing an eternal blissful existence.
That's quite a contrast.
It is.
It shows just how much diversity of thought can exist even within a single religious tradition.
Right.
But both approaches acknowledge this continuous journey of the soul.
They do. And it underscores the idea that within Hinduism, there's room for diverse interpretations on the ultimate goal of existence.
Okay, that's a great overview of the Hindu perspective.
Yeah.
Now, I'm curious about Jainism.
Okay.
Which I know has a particularly intricate view of the soul and its journey.
Jainism is truly fascinating.
Yeah.
It delves into the eternal nature of both souls and matter and how they're constantly intertwined. Imagine an elaborate tapestry where souls and matter are forever interacting, shaping and reshaping each other.
They even have this mind-boggling concept of 8.4 million possible birth destinies. Right?
They do.
That's a lot.
It's a reflection of their intricate cosmology.
Yeah.
A detailed map of existence with countless possibilities for rebirth.
8.4 million? That's a lot to wrap your head around.
It is.
But it seems like in Jainism, you're not simply a passive passenger on this cosmic journey.
Right.
You have a significant degree of control over your destiny.
Absolutely. Jainism strongly emphasizes personal responsibility for one's karma.
Okay.
Your actions, thoughts, and intentions all contribute to shaping your future. There's no divine judge standing over you. You're the architect of your own karmic path. And this emphasis on personal agency is a key difference between Jainism and some other belief systems. It's not about surrendering to fate, but actively shaping your spiritual evolution through mindful actions.
It makes you realize how every choice matters, how even seemingly small acts can contribute to the larger tapestry of your karmic journey. A lot of responsibility.
It is, but it also empowers individuals, reminding them that they have the power to create positive change in their lives and impact their future rebirths.
Now, speaking of shaping your destiny, Buddhism presents a unique perspective on this continuous journey of the soul. I've always been fascinated by how they approach reincarnation. It's a bit different from what we see in Hinduism and Jainism, isn't it?
That's right. One of the key distinctions is that Buddhism doesn't adhere to the concept of an eternal, unchanging soul. Instead, they focus on a stream of consciousness that links one life to the next. Think of it like how your thoughts and experiences flow from one moment to the next, forming a continuous stream. In Buddhism, this stream isn't confined to one life. It continues shaped by past actions into a new life.
So it's not you as a fixed entity that's being reborn, but rather the essence of your experiences, your actions, and your consciousness that flow into a new form. It's a fascinating way to think about it.
It is. It challenges the notion of a static self and embraces the impermanence and interconnectedness of all things.
That reminds me of the analogy I came across in the research paper, the idea of a dying candle lighting a new one. It beautifully captures how Buddhism views this flow of consciousness.
Yes, the flame itself changes, but the essence of fire, that continuity, remains. It's a powerful image that encapsulates the Buddhist concept of punarbhava, or rebirth.
So while Hinduism and Jainism emphasize elaborate systems of karma and rebirth, Buddhism seems to focus on the continuity of this stream of consciousness and the possibility of breaking free from the cycle of suffering.
Precisely. The ultimate goal in Buddhism is to reach nirvana, a state of enlightenment where you extinguish desire and escape the cycle of samsara. It's about transcending the limitations of individual existence and realizing a profound sense of peace and liberation.
Okay, so we've covered some key perspectives within Eastern religions, but I'm curious about Western religions. Do any of them embrace the concept of reincarnation?
It's less common in Western religions, particularly within the Abrahamic faiths. The main branches of Christianity and Islam generally center around the idea of a single earthly life, followed by a final judgment and an eternal afterlife in either heaven or hell.
That makes sense given their emphasis on a singular judgment day and the idea of a fixed afterlife determined by your actions in this life. Reincarnation could be seen as conflicting with those core beliefs.
You're right. The cyclical nature of reincarnation doesn't necessarily align with the linear concept of a single life leading to a definitive eternal destination.
But even within Western religions, there are some intriguing exceptions, right?
Yeah.
For example, I remember reading about Gilgal-Neshamot in Jewish mysticism.
Yes. While traditional Judaism doesn't emphasize reincarnation, the Kabbalah, the mystical tradition within Judaism, explores the idea of Gilgal-Neshamot, which essentially translates to the cycling of souls. It's fascinating how this concept appears even in traditions that don't typically embrace reincarnation.
It shows how fluid and multifaceted these concepts can be. And then we have new religious movements, or NRMs, many of which incorporate reincarnation as a central tenet. They often draw inspiration from both Eastern and Western spiritual traditions.
Right. Groups like the Theosophical Society and Eckankar weave the concept of rebirth into their belief systems. They often explore reincarnation as a process of spiritual growth and evolution across multiple lifetimes.
It's remarkable how this idea continues to resonate even in modern spiritual movements. And then there's the research that attempts to approach this from a more scientific perspective.
Yes, and that's where things get really intriguing. One of the pioneers in reincarnation research was Dr. Ian Stevenson, who dedicated over 40 years to meticulously documenting cases of children who claimed to remember past lives.
His work was incredibly detailed, wasn't it? I was reading about how he'd interview these children, carefully recording their statements, and then meticulously cross-referencing those details with actual historical records and accounts of deceased individuals.
He went to extraordinary lengths to verify the accuracy of these children's claims. He even investigated cases where children had birthmarks or phobias that seemed to correlate to the way the person they claimed to be had died.
Those cases are particularly compelling because they suggest a link between the physical body and memories that seem to transcend a single lifetime. It's hard to explain those away as mere coincidence.
Exactly. And while these cases don't definitively prove reincarnation in a scientific sense, they raise profound questions about the nature of memory consciousness and what might survive after death.
Of course, like any research that delves into the paranormal, there are always critics who question the methodology and the possibility of bias.
That's to be expected. Skeptics point to the challenges of verifying these claims, the potential for cultural influences, and the lack of a clear scientific mechanism to explain how reincarnation could work.
It's understandable that there's skepticism. We're dealing with experiences and phenomena that push the boundaries of our current scientific understanding. But even if we can't fully explain it, the sheer volume of these cases, coupled with the meticulous research of individuals like Dr. Stevenson, certainly makes you pause and wonder.
It does, and it highlights the limitations of our current scientific framework when it comes to understanding consciousness and what might lie beyond our physical existence.
The research paper mentioned that even in Western societies, where reincarnation isn't a dominant belief, a surprising number of people, between 20% and 30%, still believe in it.
Yeah.
Why do you think this concept continues to resonate with so many people across cultures and belief systems?
I think it speaks to a profound human need to find meaning and purpose.
Yeah.
To believe that our lives are part of something larger than ourselves. The idea of reincarnation offers a sense of continuity,
Right.
a comforting notion that this isn't the end of our story.
It's almost as if it addresses that innate fear of oblivion.
Yeah.
That sense of loss we feel, the thought of our consciousness simply ceasing to exist.
Exactly. Reincarnation suggests that death is not an ending, but a transition, a
Okay.
doorway to a new beginning.
Right.
And within this cycle of rebirth, there's a potential for growth, for learning, for evolving towards a higher state of being.
And that sense of evolution of our actions having consequences that ripple across lifetimes adds a layer of moral responsibility to our choices.
It encourages us to live with intention, knowing that the choices we make today have implications that extend beyond our current understanding. It's a powerful invitation to live a more mindful and compassionate life.
I'm also struck by the sense of interconnectedness that reincarnation implies.
Yeah.
It suggests that we're all woven together in this grand tapestry of existence, our lives intertwined across lifetimes.
It's a beautiful way to think about it. It fosters a sense of empathy and compassion for all beings, recognizing that we're all on this journey together.
This deep dive has given me a whole new perspective on the concept of reincarnation. It's not just about souls hopping from one body to the next.
Right.
It's a profound exploration of the nature of consciousness, the interconnectedness of life, and the potential for spiritual growth across multiple lifetimes.
It's a concept that invites us to contemplate the mysteries of existence and to approach life with a sense of wonder and possibility.
Well said. What stands out to you in all of this? Does exploring these different perspectives change how you view life and death?
For me, it reinforces the importance of living each moment with awareness and intention.
Yeah.
Knowing that our actions ripple outward, shaping not only our present, but also our future.
I love that.
Yeah.
It's a reminder that even though we might not have all the answers, the exploration itself can be incredibly enriching.
Absolutely.
It pushes us to think beyond our usual boundaries.
Yeah.
And to grapple with some of life's biggest questions.
Exactly. And who knows, maybe the answers to those questions will reveal themselves in our next chapter, whatever and wherever that may be.
On that note of cosmic mystery, we've reached the end of our deep dive into reincarnation. If you enjoyed this exploration of life, death, and the possibility of rebirth? Be sure to subscribe to the Mind Mosaic channel for more thought-provoking content.
As an emerging channel, your support means the world to us. Every comment, every subscription helps us grow and allows us to keep bringing you these deep dives.
We're incredibly grateful to have you as part of the Mind Mosaic community. Thanks for joining us, and who knows, maybe we'll see you in the next life.